All right, guys, you're gonna love this next guy. He's one of my first friends I've ever met in comedy. He's very funny. You're gonna love him. Give it up for Joe Polano.
Hello, hi. So I'll just get this out of the way right up front. I'm not a 12-year-old boy. I know what I look like, but I am a 27-year-old boy, and I know what I look like because people tell me right away. Like one time a girl on Tinder, first thing she said, just messaged me, "Hey, you look like you had to sit at the peanut-free table." I don't know what it means exactly, but based on that reaction, I know it was correct. I think what it boils down to is I look like a legume could end me. One time after a show, an older gentleman came up to me and he said, "Hey, I liked your stuff, but I thought on stage you look real boyish. But now that I'm up close to you, I can see the pain in your eyes." You could have just said I liked your stuff. The rest of that's gonna haunt me forever. And I'll try to make it look better. Like, I'll try to grow out my facial hair. It does not work. Like, when I grow out my facial hair, it just looks like I've been eating chocolate. Badly. Just dribbling. It doesn't help a little boy. And for my day job, I work with kids with autism, and they are honest. So I showed up, I hadn't shaved for a little bit, I thought I looked fine. This 6-year-old boy, mostly non-verbal, takes one look at my face, points at it and goes, "Sad mustache." I didn't know whether to be more proud of the communication or just devastated by the accuracy. Because he was spot on. And I have to reward that. That's good labeling. So he got iPad time for that. I like working with kids, and I don't know if you guys know this, or some of you might have kids. Yeah? No? Cool. Yeah. Alright, yeah, so maybe you know this, there's a fun developmental window where kids have decided that they're going to swear, but they don't know what all the words mean just yet, and it's awesome. I had a kid, I said to him, "Hey buddy, it's time to get out of the pool." And he said, "Oh yeah? I think it's time to fuck you." And he'd be like, "Oh, I'd really prefer that you didn't." You have to like reprimand them without teaching them what the word does mean. And then another kid, a chair fell down near him. It didn't hit him, but it surprised him, and he just yelled, "I am surrounded by asses and fools." Can you imagine having that like Shakespearean? That kid ruled. This last kid, it wasn't a swear, but it did feel targeted. He took a shit right in front of the toilet while locking eyes with me the whole time. And when it was over, he said, "Look what you made me do." He was 8. That's like an adult level of disdain for a fellow human being. I just think like if you're old enough to have that much hate in your heart, yes, you can shit in the bowl. Words I live by. But he got in trouble for that because it's frowned upon. And the head of the camp that I worked at, made him write me an apology note, and she brought him over and she was already laughing because she knew what the note said. And he hands me a piece of paper that just says, "I'm sorry I killed you." And there's a little stick figure with X's for eyes, labeled Joe. To this day, it's still the least thinly veiled threat I've ever received. If you couldn't tell from children just dunking on me, I'm not exactly like a tough guy. Like, that's not, like, I have the kind of physique where you feel like if you poke it, it takes a little while to go back to normal. That nobody's eating, it's just my body. But I like tough guys. It's a weird energy to go about your day with. And like I met a good tough guy the other day when I got rear-ended in my car. Just like a small clarification. But the guy that hit me was nice. If anything, he was too chill. Like he got out of the car in a haze of weed smoke, like Matthew McConaughey, just like, all right. He came up to me and goes, hey, I hit you, but you know me. No, this is our first encounter, sir. I'm not familiar with your antics. We go over, we're exchanging contact info. The tough guy enters, he just starts honking at us. And I was raised on the South Shore of Massachusetts. I do what I'm supposed to do. I flip him off. Exactly. It's a given. But he doesn't like this. He pulls over. He goes, hey, you want to flip me off to my face? You know I could kick your ass, right? And I'm not tough, but I am angry. So I yell back, yeah, I do know that. Most people could do that. It's not impressive. I'm weak as shit. He's not expecting that. Oh, well, as long as you know. I go, no, yeah, I got hit by a car, I'm angry. He goes, oh, I didn't know that. Because when you're tough, you can't back down. But when you're like a big pussy like me, you can bail at a moment's notice. But no, then the guy that hit me goes, nah, man, it's true. I hit him with my car. Like, oh, right on the insurance document. I've had bad luck with cars because I used to live in one. Fastest house in town. But no, one time I was in Mississippi and my brakes failed and I hit a pickup truck. No one was hurt, but I almost died. And fun fact about Mississippi, not where you want to die. Also, not where you want to live. That's the state motto. But like the car was wrecked, and I had to interact with the state trooper from Mississippi, and he was kind of an ass, and he was also chewing tobacco the whole time, which isn't inherently bad, but he was just spitting all over my wrecked car, and it added a fun little rhythm to the interaction. And he did not believe that I wasn't high, like it was a mechanical failure, but he refused to believe that. He goes, "You been smoking marijuana, boy?" And I'd be like, "No, sir." He goes, "Well, your eyes look mighty red." And I had to look at this state trooper from Mississippi and be like, "Well, sir, I've been crying. Lost my car in my house." And he does not believe me. Because they don't do that around there. So he searches the entire wrecked car for marijuana that is not there. And he gets to my backpack and goes, "What's in this pocket?" And I have to kind of like sheepishly be like, condoms? And he says to me, for real, he goes, "Unopened, I see." Some of you are getting there. Yeah, first of all, it's not the time. Second of all, of course they're unopened. What kind of fucking psychopath is hauling ass through Mississippi with a car full of pre-opened cars? Look who's ready to fuck. Lasso me some pussy. Not how it happened. It's nice to be back in New England. I moved to New York with my girlfriend. I have a girlfriend. Surprise. No, it's been cool. I live in a little Haiti now, which is like you might have noticed. I'm only half of that. But it's cool. Like I was living in Boston, and it's nice to like live in like a more diverse place. Like that's cool. But I have noticed that like the longer anyone lives in New York, they just become Italian. Like I just watched like an old Korean woman cross the street, a car honked at her, and she went, "Hey, Stuna!" It was awesome. But yeah, there's like a lot of differences with like some good, some bad. But the one thing like New York and Boston really have in common is that we're both proud of things we shouldn't be. Like in New York, I saw somebody take a shit on the subway, and I was, I'll say it, rattled. I was not accustomed to this. I told a friend in New York what I had witnessed, and he went, huh, first time? Yeah, there's no times. Then in Boston, people will say things like, hey, well, we're not as racist as we used to be. That's not the flex you think it is. People will say, like, we got the best hot clam milk in the world. You had to invent the word chowder, because anything else was straight up unacceptable. But it was tough for a bit because my girlfriend got she got a job first, so she moved ahead of me. So I was like here for a month while she was there. And I'm not the kind of guy who could be like, hey, my girlfriend lives in another state. And anyone still thinks I have a girlfriend. And like while she was gone, she had the apartment. I was like looking for a job. So I didn't want to pay for 2 rents. I moved back in with my parents for a little bit. And that was weird because I got a lot of unfiltered my dad in the morning. For context, my dad is a little Italian man. And he kind of looks like if Bob Dylan fucked a meatball. I asked him if it was okay to say that. He just went, oh, that's good. I kept saying it. But so I got my dad in the morning, and he would like drop me off at the train for work. And he would drop me off, and he would just go, "Oh, I almost forgot to tell you, Alec Baldwin killed a woman." Like, oh, I guess this needs to happen now. It's 6 in the morning. I don't know. And they say it was an accident, but if it was me, I don't know how I'd live with myself. All right, have a good day. I love you. This is not normal. But yeah, I'll end with this. This is my favorite thing my dad's done. Is the last show I did before the pandemic, he was in the audience, and the comedian right before me was talking a lot about pegging. And so then I had to go up and be like, well, I'm not going to explain that to my dad. And I thought it'd be cute in the end of it. But then he cornered me at the bottom. He says very loudly, because he's Italian. He goes, I don't know what makes you think I don't know how lesbians have sex. I don't know what makes you think I want to have this conversation. I did not realize I was dealing with the Jane Goodall of lesbians. I've lived among them. I've studied their ways. They saw my bowl cut and accepted me as one of their own. That's my dad. That's why I'm like this. So thank you. You guys have been fun. Give it up for Joe, everyone.
I didn't know Joe's dad was Al Pacino.